This show is not personal financial advice. We cover broad principles, break the silence on issues impacting everyday Americans, and point you towards the tools to take ownership. You should always do your own research and consult with a tax professional or a licensed investment advisor for guidance tailored to your personal situation. Welcome to the Backwoods Money Podcast, the show where we break the silence on financial issues surrounding everyday people. I'm your host, Dalton, and recently we published a free one-page budget template, so it only felt right for this episode to be about budgeting, or rather, the lack of budgeting. My first job out of high school was working in public safety as a 911 dispatcher in a small town. So, not great income at all, but it was enough to get by, plus to have some extra to put back if it was budgeted properly. And that was the problem. I didn't have a simple and a written plan. I had no clue where my money was going, and frankly, I was a little bit afraid to know. Looking back though, I do know where it was going. It was going to name brand clothing, only buying name brand groceries at the store, and eating out daily, if not multiple times a day. When I was working at 911, and I think all dispatchers will relate to this, it felt like we were eating out once, if not twice a day, breakfast and lunch. And come on, if one coworker is going to get a Chick-fil-A biscuit, you're not going to usually turn down a Chick-fil-A biscuit. Now, there were times that we would bring our meals with us or that we would cook together on shift as a team. But it felt like that was really outweighed by the amount of times that we were eating out. And that was 10 years ago. Eating out even once or twice a week now would totally drain a budget with that income. These days, though, while I do still enjoy eating out and still have a hard time turning down a good chicken biscuit, I am much more conscious and intentional about where my money is going. My fiance makes fun of me for always price shopping everything, even if we don't have to. Shout out to Laura Lynn, the store brand at Ingles Markets, for those of you who aren't in the Southeast. I feel like I buy snacks, chips, cheese, drinks, and practically everything but ketchup as store brand. And as far as the ketchup, don't get me started on the ketchup. That is the one place that I will draw the line at. Everything else, though, is fair game. While we're on the topic of budgets, I do want to talk about a Bible story that's probably familiar to most of us. Again, if you're not religious, bear with us through this, and the moral of the story will still apply and make sense to you. In the book of Genesis, Noah was given the warning from God to build an ark. Not because the storm had started and that it was raining outside, but because it would in the future, and there would be a flood. Now, Noah was not a shipbuilder. He was not on a coastline. This man built a boat in the middle of dry land. Needless to say, it was not normal to those around him, and nobody else was in the middle of dry land building boats with him. When the rain did hit, the ark floated. It saved Noah, it saved his family, and it saved the animals that were on board. But for the world around him, the ones who did not prepare, who did not plan, who did not build boats alongside him, they did not have that same fate. Now, let's get back to budgeting. Let's compare that to building the ark. The thing that keeps you floating during a storm. It's not flashy, it's not cool. We don't see people posting Instagram stories of them riding a budget. It's not normal in today's society because we don't teach it. Budgeting should not be difficult or complex. You don't need an app to budget. You don't need a subscription to a service to budget. You need a pen and a piece of paper. It should also not be shameful to sit down and think out and write out your budget. you should have the courage to do that because that is what empowers you to start taking ownership of your finances. So, if you're where I was, overwhelmed by the mess, maybe even a little scared to start, and not entirely sure how to even go about writing out your budget, our new one-page budget template is a great start. Some of the best budgets that I have ever seen are done on a yellow notepad. And this tool is practically that, but with the categories already there and laid out for you. And remember, it is not about tracking every single penny down to the penny. It is about identifying where the issue is, so then you can be intentional about fixing that issue. Our one-page budget tool is currently available for free with no sign-up required and no gimmicks. It can be downloaded and printed out at www.backwoodsmoney.com/budget. Again, that is www.backwoodsmoney.com/budget. I would like to challenge you to sit down and write out your basic budget. If you have a spouse, I recommend involving them in that task as well. You may just be surprised how much, or rather how little, money is left at the end of your expenses. As always, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this podcast. This show is here to break the silence on financial issues impacting everyday Americans, many of which can be fixed with taking ownership and being intentional with your money. If you would like to read our blog post or submit a question or idea for a future episode, please visit us at www.backwoodsmoney.com. Again, that is www.backwoodsmoney.com.